Recently, I started thinking about some great anime to watch. Anime that are considered all-time classics. And one particular anime came to mind. An anime that has been recommended to me by a friend many years ago.
Booga booga.
An anime in which for some odd reason I never watched. Maybe because it was a mecha anime, it made me uninterested. But after watching this anime, I realized it was a story that pleasantly surprised me. A story that is rich with emotions, touched with an absolutely delightful style that serves as a visual feast. That being Gurren Lagann. Gurren Lagann is an anime about a 14-year-old boy named Simone who lives in this underground society separated from the outside world, living day to day with a depressing and mundane lifestyle of just constantly digging. The villagers that live here dig for the purpose of expanding their village and to gain the privilege of mundane things. You see, Simone doesn't have it the best. His parents died from an earthquake at the age of 7, he doesn't have any particularly strong aspirations, and he gets labeled as a guy who wants to put his drill inside other girls.
If we're not careful, he might drill a hole in us too.
Yeah, it's rough out here. Now, even though Simone doesn't exactly have any grand goals of his own, nor does he come across as someone who is highly ambitious, he's not this depressed kid that questions the reason for his existence. All of the villagers are digging for expansion and food, but Simone is digging to find treasure. He has a small bit of resolve within that makes him look for something in this mind-numbing village he lives in. Despite the underground being so gloomy with a bunch of people that have nothing better to do with their lives other than digging, hating, and having low self-esteem, this village is accompanied with someone who has the complete opposite energy, and his name
It's Kamina. Kamina is someone who has strong aspirations and hopes to reach the outside world. One day as Simone was digging, he finds something that looks like a face, along with a small drill that glows. Upon finding this discovery, he meets Kamina and instantly establishes a bromance with him. Simone, brimming with excitement over what he found, wants to show it to Kamina until a giant mecha just comes out of nowhere, along with a random named Yoko, who pretty much serves as part of the trio of the show. Being caught in a sticky situation, Simone shows the face that he found earlier and finds out he can activate it with the drill that he found. The mini-mech that gets activated, otherwise known as a mini-gunman, is named Lagann by Kamina, marking the beginning of their journey. Simone, however, lacks faith in himself in controlling Lagann. Kamina the Go gives Simone the ultimate pep talk and says, "Believe in the Kamina that believes in you." This is one of my favourite lines in the show, and it's such an iconic one. This line truly expresses the themes of having faith, even when the odds seem stacked against you. It honestly serves as a reminder that you're not alone. Even if you think you don't have what it takes to accomplish something, that doesn't mean you can't do it. Even if you don't trust yourself, you remind yourself that there are other people who trust you. Kamina shows how no matter how low you get, no matter how impossible it may seem, you latch onto that spark of belief, whether it be for yourself, your friends, your family, or anyone. It's easier to tell someone they're smart, that they're good looking, that they're a 9 or a 10 out of 10. But when it comes to yourself, it's easier to downplay it. You might say, I'm a 6 or a 7 out of 10, nothing too crazy. In a similar way, Simone shares that feeling, and honestly it makes the character feel more relatable and grounded. By listening to these motivating words, Simone takes control of Lagann, and the trio successfully rise up to the sky. You see the beautiful artwork followed by the calm, soothing music, and it truly represents the tone of this anime. Gurren Lagann is an anime that doesn't take itself too seriously, and the presentation of the show is often bombastic, chaotic, and all over the place. But when you see the gorgeous landscape with the sun and moon shining from opposite sides, you let the scene sink in, and you're left in awe. That's what makes Gurren Lagann hit
so hard. The show goes all out when it needs to, but it also knows when to take a step back from all the chaos and have you feel immersed. The show is disguised as a hype shonen that's infested with action, but it hits you with scenes that have unexpected emotional depth, moments that catch you off guard, and makes you see things from different perspectives. Believing in yourself, the power of friendship, camaraderie, are all common tropes in anime, but Gurren Lagann executes these themes so well that you can't help but feel moved. You read the title of this anime and you're wondering what a Gurren Lagann even is, until you watch the anime and realize that Gurren is the gunman that is piloted by Kamina once they reach the surface, and Lagann is the gunman piloted by Simone, which was discovered underground. It's almost symbolic in a way that Simone, the boy who didn't have anything going on for him, the boy who looked down on his feet, pilots what was found underground, and Kamina, the man who does nothing but point upwards, filled with hope and ambition, pilots what was found on the surface. Together, both of their gunmen combined to create Gurren Lagann, ultimately embodying the heart and soul of this anime. The title encapsulates all of that, and it just shows you how good of a job this show does at what it tries to do. Now, that doesn't mean Gurren Lagann doesn't have its flaws. Despite having only 27 episodes, there are some episodes where the pacing could be better instead of having to rely on recap. A lot of the characters are not that fleshed out. Some of the characters don't have that much personality other than to fill in their quirky, flamboyant archetype, and there are some characters where I wish I got more out of, especially Yoko, considering that most of her role revolves around fan service and being Kamina's love interest.
Big bro Kamina.
What, Simone?
How old are you?
I'm 18, why?
How old is Yoko?
I don't know, she's probably the same age as me.
Do you know she's 14, right?
Simone, stop lying. The writer wouldn't do me dirty like that.
Then why does it say she's 14 on the Wikipedia page?
Okay, you're starting to piss me off, Simone. She's not fucking oh, fuck! However, despite these flaws, Gurren Lagann still remains to be a classic, and I will never forget the first time I watched episode 8, when the story took a complete turn, shifting the whole tone of the anime. A turn I never saw coming. A turn that I never would have expected for a show that seems so over the top and lighthearted. Even though prior to this episode, there were moments that showed me how this anime is more layered than it seems, it still surprised me yet again. An episode that made my jaw drop to the floor, in which the only thing I can say was wow. Just wow. Kamina truly is the GOAT. Taking one of the best lines of the show,
"Believe in me! Believe in the Kamina who believes in you!"
to saying,
"Have faith in the Simone that believes in you."
to see these words come full circle, to see the evolution of these words hold so much weight to the viewers. To see that you're not always going to have an external factor that you can rely on in order to help boost your confidence. That at one point, you're going to realize that you yourself are capable of seeing your own worth, and that you can have faith in yourself, not because you don't have a choice, not because you don't have any other option, but because you genuinely have the capability to do so. Gurren Lagann shows that you can do the impossible. And honestly, this anime actually proved its point. And you know how I know that? It actually somehow made it possible for a mecha anime to be watchable. Nah, I'm just joking.
Hey, yo.
What the hell?
Yo.
Why is he tooting up like that?
Don't insult me. Who the hell do you think I am?
Bro, what the hell? Why is this sword so long? I swear to God, his sword wasn't that
Yo,
long.
it's been meant to symbolize his big ass dick. Whoa, whoa, whoa! What the fuck? I killed. I fucking killed it. Bro, I fucking murdered a spider.